Everyone, myself Dr. S Mohammed Nazeer. This class I am going to teach you microeconomics. In microeconomics, the theory of production. What is production? Production is the result of combined efforts of the various factors of production, namely land, labor, capital, organization. In other words, production is the transformation of inputs into output. The combination of factor of production is known as coefficient of factors of production. Now production function. Production function is a mathematical expression which explains the relationship between the quantities of output produced and the quantities of inputs employed. Let's see in detail. It is well known that the production of a commodity depends on four factors of production, namely land, labor, capital, and organization. Let Q be the quantity of commodity produced. Given the technological conditions, production depends upon the amount of factors of production, say X1, X2, X3, and X4. The production function is written as Q is equals to F of X1, X2, X3, and X4. X1 labor, X2 capital, X3 land, and X4 organization. In order to simplify the above function, let us assume that the production function depends on two variable factors, namely labor and capital, that is X1 and X2. Then the production function is written as Q equals to F of X1 and X2, where Q quantity of commodity produced, X1 labor, and X2 capital. Let's see the short run and the long run production function. Now the short run production function. The short run is the period in which some factors of production are varying and others remain constant. Factors which cannot altered in the short run are called fixed factors. Thus, in short run, some factors are fixed and some factors are variable. We know that there are four factors of production: land, labor, capital, organization. We are keeping one factors of production or three factors of production constant and varying one factors of production and watching what happened in the output side. This analysis is called a short run production function. That is, we are keeping three factors of production constant and varying one factors of production and seeing what happened in the output side. That is called the short run production function. Now, long run production function. Long run is the period in which all the factors of production are varying. Thus, there is no distinction between fixed and variable factors in the long run, as all the factors become variable factors. So, land, labor, capital, organization. These all factors are varying factors. So, in the long run, we are changing all the factors and watching what happened in the output side. This analysis is called the long run production function. Now, the productivity curves. The productivity curve represents the productivity of a factor in total output among the different factors of production. Types of productivity. There are three types: total productivity, average productivity, and marginal productivity. Let we see this productivity one by one. Total productivity. For example, if production function Q is equals to F of X1 and X2, then the total productivity of X1 in the production of Q is defined as the quantity of Q that be produced by factor X, where factor X2 remain constant. Similarly, we can explain the total productivity of X2. Average productivity. The average productivity is obtained by dividing the total productivity by its quantity of factors of production. AP can be obtained by the following formula. This is the formula: total output divided by units of factor X1 or X2. Now, the average productivity curve. The curve which represents the change in the average product due to change in the units of factor x1 or x2. is known as average productivity curve. In the initial stage, x1 or x2 increases, the average productivity curve also increases. But after a certain point, the curve decreases. This is shown in this diagram. This initial stage, the average productivity is increasing. After certain stage, it is decreasing. Now, the marginal productivity. The marginal productivity is the change in total production due to change in the units of a factors of production. Thus, marginal productivity is first order derivative to the total production. This curve, which represents the change in total production due to change in units of factor x1 or x2, is known as marginal productivity curve. Now, the relationship between average productivity and marginal productivity curve. Generally, the shape of the average productivity curve and marginal productivity curve is identical, so it creates confusion. If average productivity curve increases, the marginal productivity curve also increases. Initial stage, the average productivity curve increases, the marginal productivity curve also increases. But the marginal productivity curve increases more than that of AP curve. When AP curve attains maximum point, the MP curve becomes equal to it. So AP curve at the maximum point, MP curve become equal to it. When AP curve falls, the MP curve will also fall, but MP curve fall more rapidly than AP curve. This is illustrated in this diagram.